This week's episode is sponsored by independent film company and Shudder's new horror film, Whistle. When a misfit group of high school students stumble upon an ancient death whistle, they discover that blowing it will summon their future death to hunt them down. Critics are calling Whistle pure, gory fun and a hell of a ride. Experience Whistle exclusively in theaters February 6th. Get your tickets now.
I hate to say it, but his parents have been feeling unwell as of late, and I'm staying with them to help take care of Alex.
Oh, so it's serious.
Oh, no, it's not serious. Nothing terminal. It's just a touch of consumption.
Welcome back to Microqueers. It's our sporadic queer horror movie roundup, and I'm Joe.
And I'm Trace, and we are discussing the mid-2000s, Carrie, I Know What You Did Last Summer hybrid / like predates Jennifer's Body kind of thing.
Yes.
Tamara!
Yeah. So, of course, this was written by Jeffrey Reddick, he of Final Destination, which is part of the reason that we're covering it. And you had seen this, I had not. Mm-hmm. This is such a curiosity. Like, what a weird little movie. To the point where you and I actually had to have back and forth conversations about, okay, this isn't a big movie, so we're not going to program it on the main feed. But as I told you right before we hit record, I have so many thoughts and feelings about this film.
Full disclosure, I saw this in college and I did not like it.
Okay. Yep.
But even at the time, I don't think I was aware of who Jenna Dewan was at the time.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't seen it since, and so I was mildly intrigued with the prospect of revisiting this. And here's the thing. I don't think this is a good movie, but I still would recommend people watch it. It is a time capsule of the 2000s. Like,
my God, the fucking fashion alone. Every girl in this movie is like, oh God, right. I remember that outfit. Like, honest to God, that specific outfit that each female character is wearing at any individual point in this film. I was like, yep, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much so. And I don't think Reddick's screenplay is particularly great. It's not terrible, but it's pretty...
There's some definite issues with this, and maybe before we get too far into this, we should read the logline, because I don't know how many people have actually seen this. So, folks, this film is about witchy Tamara, who is Jenna Dewan, and she is a quote-unquote...
Oh my God.
This is from the IMDb summary. She's described as an unattractive girl. And Trace, this isn't even like glasses and ponytail. This is just ponytail.
We tussle her hair to make it look like she just crawled out of the woods or something. But like, this is still Jenna Dewan, and she is still gorgeous in every shot of this movie.
Like, so hot.
The fact that the movie has to open with a dream sequence in which she is already in hot mode to be like, hey y'all, you're about to see her look quote unquote ugly, but look, she can be hot. We're gonna get there.
Yeah. The big difference seems to be she wears bare midriff stuff, and she has enormous hair when she's hot, and when she doesn't, she has, strands of hair in front of her face, and maybe she wears some kind of overall. It's wild.
It is wild. I mean, this is one of the most egregious, like, cast a hot girl as an ugly girl movies I've ever seen.
But it feels like the movie's not even trying.
No. Sorry, that was the continuation where I was like, okay, Jeffrey Reddick's script isn't great, but I don't think it's like the failing of this movie. It's Jeremy Half's direction.
Yes, there's some pretty significant issues. Okay, so sorry, with the logline. So yes, she's unattractive and a little bit witchy, as the opening credits suggest, and she is getting bullied at school because, of course, she doesn't play sports and she's not hot. So we have a prank that goes wrong because this movie also seems to think that it's either an 80s slasher film or a 90s The Craft knockoff. And basically, the mean kids end up ganging up on her. They lure her to a motel room where they set up video cameras and make her think that she's going to sleep with her hot teacher, Mr. Natali, who is played by Matthew Marsden. And it doesn't go well. She ends up dying. She ends up being resuscitated, ? Through magical forces that don't make any sense at all. And then she becomes a kind of succubus for the rest of the movie, where she goes around killing all of the people who harmed her.
Yeah. Yeah, and that logline in general kind of highlights an issue with the film, with Tamara as a character. Like,
is she the protagonist? Is she the hero? Is she the villain? Is it all of the above? Like, I truly did not know who to root for in this film.
Yeah, and I think, again, you can, as I said, you can see a lot of comparisons and parallels to Carrie.
Yeah.
And there's the thing, I think we talked about this in the Carrie episode that we covered, where I said, I can look past a lot of like Carrie's actions in the prom scene because she's kind of in this fugue state where it's like, is she really responsible for all of her actions in this moment?
Do you feel that here, though?
Well, so the thing is, I don't know, because the Tamara that gets resuscitated doesn't seem to be the same Tamara that we knew before she died. Like, she seems to be, I don't know, like it's the spell that's making her do all these things almost.
Yes, like she's definitely more confident and sexy and assertive, and she goes after whatever she wants, even if it sometimes means that she's going to kill someone. And you think, okay, so is this her kind of id unlocked, like the person she could have been if she wasn't being bullied by these fucking asshole people? But then you get to the climax, and Mr. Natalia is basically trying to convince her not to kill him and his wife. And you very much get the sense that, oh no, there's something else inside of her that she can't control, who's making her do all of these things. But to make us wait until the very last scene to clarify that is problematic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the double suicide ending is such a weird...
I kept waiting for it to be revealed to be a fucking dream, or we were gonna... Yeah. Folks, this movie is just unhinged in so many different ways. Yeah. But why don't we begin with the beginning? Because you said Reddick's script is not great, but it's also not the weakest part of the film. I do think one of the biggest issues with the script is that we are introduced to a bunch of different characters, because there's like the bullies. So there's like the mean sporty guys, Sean, who is Brian Clark. He has a girlfriend, Keisha, played by Melissa Elias, and then his best friend, Patrick, who is Gil Hakochin. By the way, all of these people are so Canadian, it feels like they're going to bleed maple syrup.
Well, because, I mean, look, I say Carrie, I say I Know You Did Last Summer. The Craft is a great example. I think you're right. But honestly, what this feels like the most to me is that 2002 made-for-TV Carrie miniseries.
Oh, yes, which was also deeply, deeply Canadian. So it all checks out. But yeah, so those are the bullies. And you think, okay, it's going to be really satisfying to watch these people get their asses handed to them by Tamara when she, discovers her powers or something, right? But then we also have these new to town who I'm calling bystanders because they don't have any kind of connection. They're sort of wandering around this high school campus saying, hey, where's the party tonight or this weekend? So we have Chloe, who is Katie Stewart. I think she's meant to be the protagonist that we cheer for because she's actually nice and she likes Tamara.
She's Sue Snell.
But here's the thing. Why does she like Tamara, Trace? Because she stands up for her against Keisha in the change room, and you're just like, have you met this girl before? Why do you think she's cool?
Well, to me, this just seemed like, oh, it's a person just trying to be nice to a girl who is clearly being bullied. And so I was like, cool, that makes sense to me. But but at the same time, it's like you said, we have a protagonist problem. Like, we don't spend enough time with Chloe for me to consider her the protagonist of this film.
No, and then she has, I think, a boyfriend, in Jesse, who is played by Chad Faust, who I recognize because I watched the 4400, and he was one of the main characters on that. Again, so fucking Canadian. But their relationship feels very undefined. He sometimes gives gay vibes. And
well, okay, do you know why he gives you gay vibes?
Is he gay in real life?
I don't know about that, maybe. I don't know. But he plays the gay boyfriend in Saved.
There we go. Yes.
No,
yes.
I was like, I know that face. I know that gay face.
No, I know that gay face. Even if it's just a on-screen made for,
no, but I thought truly, Chloe and Jesse, I was like, they're meant to be the kind of like gothy, like side kids, but like they're not gothy enough.
No, not at all. Like, they look like some older person's version of what emo or goth looks like, but then they're not written that way, and they don't really, like, neither actor really plays them that way.
No, not at all. They're just kind of there. Like, granted, did I feel really bad for Jesse when he gets stabbed to death? Like,
his absolutely brutal fucking death that I was not expecting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So actually, introduce the last character, and then we can talk about some of that.
Okay, so then there's also some totally other random character, a nerd, quote unquote, named Roger. He works in AV and does the morning announcement at the school. He is played by Mark Devine. And initially, it seems like the bullies are setting him up a la Prom Night or Terror Train, where it's going to be, let's use this kid to lure Tamara to the motel room and we'll, humiliate both of them because they both suck and we hate them because they're not hot and they're losers. And it's never clear to me how anybody knows Roger, if Tamara knows Roger at all, why he's involved in this. Like, it feels like the movie has multiple different drafts and missing drafts, because I know we spent a lot of time at the end of last year talking about, we should cut 10 to 15 minutes out of this beginning because it's just like, let's get the movie started. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this movie had 10 or 15 minutes cut out of the beginning about how do all these people know each other? What are their relationships? I mean,
because this movie is fairly tropey. And with this Roger character, I was like, I'm surprised he's not kind of like the Ducky to Tamara's Molly Ringwald, where he's like, he's kind of her best friend, but he still chooses to like agree to the cover up.
100%. He needed to have some kind of connection to her to make this make any kind of sense.
Exactly. And all in all, with the script as a whole, I'm like, I think the mistake too is the order we kill these characters in. I think because 3 of these characters are essentially innocent. Like, yes, they are bystanders. They don't do anything to stop what's happening, but they are not complicit in this at all. They're not complicit in the murder at all.
No.
And so I think it's a mistake to kill Roger first. Like, and what we end up doing with Sean and Patrick, and we'll talk about the gay sex of it all in a bit, but like, I don't know, like, I actually found their deaths very unsatisfying because it wasn't Tamara killing them.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of wild that we don't reserve the biggest punishment for the worst offenders. Yeah, we kill people in the wrong order with the wrong severity. I will say there was one moment that totally got me where there's what is eventually revealed to be a dream sequence from Chloe, of all people, where she imagines Tamara coming back and killing all of the bullies right off the bat. Like, we basically put Tamara into the ground. I know what you did last summer. Make a pledge. No one's going to say anything and we're just going to move on. And then Chloe has this dream, but you don't know it's a dream. So it's just Tamara coming back and killing all of these people. And I thought, holy shit, are we going to save Chloe and Jesse and Roger and have it be her coming after them? Because that would have felt so subversive. Yeah. But then no, this is just a dream sequence.
That's honestly, like, I don't even know if it would have been a better movie given what we're working with here, but I do think it would have been a more interesting film.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, we just wouldn't have ever made that movie. So I appreciated the fact that we film it in such a way that I was legitimately duped. I was surprised when it was revealed to be a dream sequence because I fully just thought, okay, wow, this movie is going for it. And then we pull it back. But it's also because they're not the ultimate people that Tamara's after, Trace. That would be the guidance counselor and the wife of Mr. Natali, who is Allison, played by Claudette Mink.
Oh, you mean not Dina Mayer?
I mean, my God, does she ever look like it? My other joke that I wanted to make was how many times do we say the name Mr. Natali? He has a first name Bill, but we say it only once. I think Allison refers to her husband by that name. But the rest of the time, everybody just says Mr. Natali. And I was like, is this Wild Things? Because it's Mr. Lombardo, take a shot every fucking time.
And that, how many 90s to early 2000s, actually 90s, how many 90s films have we just mentioned in the relation to this movie? Because you can see so many of the influences here, and it's kind of shameless about it, which on a certain level I respect. Mm-hmm. on another level, I'm like, this is really like bad.
Well, you said tropey, and I do think that's part of the reason why this film underperformed financially, why it doesn't have good critical reviews. So we're looking at a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 2.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That's what I gave it. I had a good time watching it because it is so bananas. But as you said, I don't think I can say it's a good movie per se.
I will say this. I do think Jenna Dewan is having the time of her life as an evil villain girl, and I genuinely enjoyed watching her, and I do think that's where Jeffrey Reddick's very gay one-liners are the strongest. Like, I had fun with her in those moments, even if as a character I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yes, yeah. Her motivations, her plot doesn't make a ton of sense, but watching her quote unquote seduce all of these people, because basically what happens, folks, is she comes back and yeah, she's super hot, she's very aggressive, and she'll just go up to people and, stroke the side of their face. And she can then get them to do whatever she wants, even though we very clearly say at the beginning of the film that this is a love binding spell. So it makes no sense that she can ask police officers to shoot people on her behalf.
But then she's delivering out lines like, "Shut up, you barren bitch."
Yes. Yes, as you said, very much written by a gay man who's having fun with a sassy female villain. But Trace, let's get to the pièce de résistance, because obviously Reddick wrote this, but I wasn't sure if this was just a case of, okay, we've got a gay screenwriter so we can cover it. No, we've got gay sex in here.
Mm-hmm. And it's essentially a gay rape scene, because let's just set this up. So we have the two meanest bullies, though, the two worst ones that you really want to see get killed in horrible ways. And this being the mid-2000s, what's the worst thing that a straight bully could ever have to go through? Ooh, gay sex. And so she makes these two boys who are best friends and assholes have sex with each other.
Yeah, and I feel like the film thinks that this is good comeuppance, in particular for the Patrick character. So the main villain is Sean. It's him and his girlfriend Keisha have hatched this dastardly plan because, in part, the inciting incident is that Mr. Natali published one of Tamara's essays in the school newspaper, but somehow the essay was about doping at the school.
Yeah,
I was like,
the football
was this
team.
for credit? Like, because they never say, oh, she writes for the newspaper or she's part of the yearbook staff or something. It's just, hey, I took that thing you submitted and I published it in the school paper, but it's a doping scandal about Sean. So he gets booted off of the team. All of a sudden, his college opportunities are thwarted. So he and Keisha come up with this plan where they're going to sexually blackmail Tamara, make her think she's fucking Mr. Natali, and then they're going to show the video to everybody and it's going to be hilarious, and then she dies by accident.
Yeah.
So you think, okay, well, Sean is the real villain and Keisha has to get hers, but then... But then there's also Patrick, who is kind of the lackey second guy best friend. But Patrick's character is that he is a serial date raper. So he roofies every girl at all of his parties.
Well, that's another issue, though. So many of these revelations about these characters happen right before she kills them, or they fall under her spell. It's like we know nothing about this character, so they're an asshole. And then she's like, trying to put a spell on him, and she's like, oh, well, all those girls you were date raping, I want to see, you need to know how it feels. And it's like, wait, this is brand new information that we have not been privy to before.
I mean, we got hints of it, because definitely for that reveal, we knew about it in advance because Patrick talked about it. There were a couple of girls that he spiked their drinks where they clearly didn't want to drink it, but then he was like, we're going to have a great time tonight. But Keisha, we discover, has
an eating disorder.
Yeah. And again, this is the mid-2000s. I feel like this is very emblematic of the time. We take people's problems or issues, we boil it down into one single thing, and then we punish them for it with, it's a very Freddy Krueger kind of approach, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got this one thing, I'm going to turn that against you as a punishment. But it's super gross to have Tamara turn Keisha's eating disorder against her by making her binge eat to the point that she chews off her own fingers.
Well, she makes her vomit first. She makes her purge and then binge, as opposed to the opposite, which I thought was really interesting. But watching this, I was like, oh wow, this would not fly today. Like, people would not, even the gay sex scene. Well, the gay rape scene, which is like what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like kind of really into it. I was like, oh, maybe it's because we would get something like this nowadays, but also like that we were getting forced gay sex in a movie from 2006 felt very novel to me.
It did. And to be clear, I did not enjoy the Keisha storylines.
No, I didn't either.
So the disordered eating thing and then making her binge and purge and so on, I was like, no, I don't know that I would have even found this okay back in 2005 or 6. But I was intrigued by the fact that we've got a gay screenwriter who says, oh, no, what would be the worst thing for these two bullies would be that they would fuck each other. And that this woman, who essentially is a succubus at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how the love spell, I think, we're getting around it. She's compelling them through her physical touch to do a bunch of different random things.
Yeah.
Okay, so question for you. Obviously, this is not kosher. This would not fly today. But did you also kind of feel like it was a bit of a cop-out in the way that it was filmed? Because they barely kiss. We can clearly see one of the actors put his hand over his mouth before they kiss so that they're not actually touching lips, which I thought was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And then when we see them, because Keisha just walks in because it's like, what the fuck are they doing in there for so long? And they're both under the covers. They have all their clothes on.
Yeah, and so I thought that was a big cop-out, but then I was kind of like, yeah, but it's 2006, so maybe just the implication. But I was like, but this tells me they're not actually having sex. But then Keisha leaves the room and they continue going. We just don't get to see what's going on.
Right.
My thing was more, and this is not very PC of me to say, but Tamara asked them, well, who's going to pitch and who's going to catch? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, Sean should obviously be the bottom. Like, that would just make the most sense to me because he deserves, quote unquote, that punishment. That would be the most embarrassing for him.
Well, unless you think Patrick is the person who's been date raping women, so maybe...
Yeah.
Again, folks, we are absolutely not condoning this at all. It's within the world of the film thinking about these despicable characters in their minds, what would be an appropriate punishment for them.
Yeah, so honestly, they should have flip-fucked. That's what she should say. Who's going to pitch and who's going to catch? Actually, y'all should just flip. Actually, yours better.
Yeah, it's interesting because it does feel like the movie has a mean streak in a lot of ways. Like we talked about Jesse, you think that he and Chloe are going to be the people who make it to the end because Roger dies by suicide pretty unceremoniously early on. And I will say it's confronting. Like I really like the way that this particular moment was shot where you actually see from Roger's point of view as he prepares to stab himself in the eye.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting creative choice, but I fully thought, okay, Chloe and Jesse are going to make it to the end. But the problem is that, again, the film has such a broad perspective on who we're meant to care about. The final pair, like Chloe is kind of there, but she doesn't matter. It's actually all about Mr. Natali and his wife on the roof. So yeah, Jesse just gets disposed of in the cafeteria or the kitchen of this building. And Tamara just like fully stabs him to death a bazillion times.
No, it's Keisha. Keisha stabs her to death. That's the thing. And so that's the other problem with the third act of this film, I think, is because Tamara essentially, like, she touches anyone to become her kind of like zombie slave where they'll just go kill someone that she wants to be killed. And that's boring, so boring to me. But the Keisha character is... She's an anomaly. I don't understand this character at all. But like she essentially becomes Tamara's puppet in the third act. She kills Jesse. She's trying to kill a bunch of people. And then we get this the audacity of this film.
Oh my God.
To have a cliffhanger ending where Keisha grabs Tamara's spell book and you're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, and I couldn't figure out if she was still under her spell or not because that doesn't make any sense. Maybe I just misread this because the film wasn't entirely clear. I thought that Keisha was still under Tamara's spell, even though Tamara was dead at this point because she and Mr. Natali have gone off the roof.
Truly, you have no idea because the film doesn't actually show Keisha after Tamara dies. We just see her hands grab the book. So there's no way of knowing. It would have made more sense to have Chloe find the book.
Right. Yes. Because that would have been a bit more of a natural, oh, okay, you're slightly alternative. You felt sorry or empathy for Tamara. Like they definitely felt more akin to the point where there's this one ridiculous line after the prank goes badly and right before Tamara is killed, she sees Chloe because everybody's been hanging out in the other motel room from where the action has gone down with the video camera. But she storms out and she turns and she sees Chloe. And she just goes, I trusted you.
Oh my God.
I was like, you two don't know each other. Have you even met? I mean, yeah, they have. Chloe stood up for her, but that was the only interaction we've seen from them. It's wild.
But either way, like the end of this movie is, okay, Keisha's going to go take this book and run off. But then like our two final characters that are left alive are Natoli's wife and Chloe. And they're just like, what? Like, okay. Like, Natoli's wife did not seem that upset or that really like truly bothered by her husband killing himself.
Well, and she also earlier in the film told him that she was pregnant and then we have this back and forth where she suspects that he told Tamara that they were having difficulty conceiving. And then I couldn't figure out if she misread the pregnancy test and she actually wasn't, or if it was a lie, because the way the movie frames it, you could almost read it either way.
So I actually am presenting a third option to you. I thought, because there's a line when Tamara confronts her and she says, "You'll never give Bill children," and she kind of looks at her stomach. So I thought...
You think she spelled her?
Yeah, I think she like aborted the baby, or disappeared the baby inside of her.
Wow. Okay. I mean, here's the thing.
We don't know.
As we have said several times, this movie is not great, but it can be entertaining. Jenna Dewan's having a great time. She looks amazing. She's so unattractive. And it's also a great time capsule. So if you missed like basically what Britney Spears was missing in 2005, you can watch this movie and you will get 100% a sense of that. But there's also so many areas for improvement. And I would argue, 2009, Jennifer's Body does it. Like,
yeah,
Jennifer's Body just improves on this entire formula to a much more successful degree. But I do think that there's something here. Like, if you flesh this out, if you actually figured out the order in which people should get their punishment, if you made it a little bit more period appropriate for the moment we're living in, would I watch a Tamara remake? Yeah. I think I would.
Well, because here's the thing, especially when it comes to remakes, it's like, well, yeah, you want to take a movie that's not that great to begin with and make it better. So I would absolutely be intrigued by a Tamara remake. But at the same time, if you're, shuffling through Tubi and you see Tamara pop up, hit play. It's a perfect Tubi movie.
It truly is. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, let us know what you thought of Tamara if you checked it out for this or if you've seen it before. But until next time, we can cross out Tamara.
Indeed, and cross out microqueers.